just as a note for everybody listening, we fact check all of our stuff with the internet that we got the stuff off of.
Yeah.
So it's doubly fact checked, doubly true. Everything we say is 100% completely accurate.
The disclaimer again. Pause it. Here we go. Good Man Alive podcast episode Sizix.
Number six.
Number six. As always, if you're looking for something fun and exciting and entertaining, you are in the right place, where two brothers and their dad talk smack about the things that they want to talk about that have nothing to do with each other, quite possibly, because none of us knows what the other has brought to the table.
Mystery.
Speaking of table, we have pork rinds, and we have something also very special that I will share in a minute. So July 4th was our last podcast, Independence Day, which we learned was not the same day that the Declaration was signed. Was it, Pop?
Nope, that was August.
That was in August. Yep. So nice try.
I've been lied to.
One thing I didn't know, I found out that July 4th is also Sidewalk Egg Frying Day. Have you ever tried that, Pop? I've never tried it.
No, that's got to be real hot.
Yeah, I got a feeling like I see people in like Arizona, places like in the desert where it gets super duper hot. Maybe that can happen. Or if you've got a heat wave coming through. But what I'm really celebrating today, fellas, today is Tuesday, July 14th. Okay, this is the day we're recording this podcast. What I'm celebrating today is National Gummy Worm Day.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
It
I'm
comes
celebrating
so
it.
fast.
Yep.
It happens so fast.
National
Was
Gummy
that
Worm
sour
Day. So
gummy
I got
worms?
some sour bite crawlers.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Couldn't find the regular ones, but sour ones are always better anyway. So this is for your enjoyment.
More wormy than this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't. They're very. These worms have been out in the sun, boy. All right. So this is dedicated to one of the most fun and beloved children's treats, gummy worms. So these colorful sweets with fruity flavor and chewy texture have become a popular element not only at kids' parties, but also in culinary decoration, especially in desserts related to nature or Halloween themes. If you didn't know the history of gummy worms, first created in 1981 by the German company Trolley.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they're still kicking.
As an original addition to the already popular gummy bears that were invented by Haribo in the 1920s. Haribo gummy bears, golden bears, are the superior gummy bear. They're the other ones I like.
To be honest, I always thought it said troll.
Yeah.
That's my
True.
dyslexia kicking in.
Troll Eye.
I didn't see that.
And they quickly gained popularity in the USA and worldwide. The purpose of this holiday, of course, is an occasion to enjoy a nostalgic treat and celebrate the creativity of the confectionery industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gummy worms.
It promotes cheerful mood, childhood memories, and experiments with desserts and decorations. So I remember Mom putting gummy worms in dirt cake. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that one year she made dirt cake? I don't know whether it was for my birthday or just 'cause.
Yeah.
And put it in an actual flower pot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I
Yep.
ate the entire pot.
Oreo cookie
the whole
crumbled
pot?
up.
The whole pot. I ate the pot too. It was like Willy Wonka.
Yep.
So, but yeah, National Gummy Worm Day. Got gummy worms, some ASMR.
Dang.
I'll sleep. I'll sleep at night now.
Dad's like Alex Jones over here with his papers.
Hey.
Hey, I've got all these
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
gay frogs. Turning our freaking frogs gay.
Gracious.
All right. So, on to our first subject. Al, what do you got for us today, bro?
Okay, let me pull her up. All right, this is kind of a twofer situation here.
Twofers.
This one's, have you ever heard of Universe 25?
Nope.
Universe 25. Okay.
Dig it.
Had the burp. Okay, so this study was done in 1972 by John B. Calhoun. Don't forget the B. From the National Institute of Mental Health.
Okay.
This was done with mice. It's also been called mouse utopia or behavioral sync model. It involved a 9-foot square enclosure divided into 256 interconnected pins, which ultimately, so you can access food, water, and nesting materials with no predators, no diseases. These mice, let me see how many there were. I want to say that there were 12 pairs or something like that. Anyway, it was a really low number, maybe anywhere from 12 to 20.
Okay.
So, what do you think would happen with these mice? Let's go ahead and put a question out there, just so we can kind of get an idea. Have you heard this story?
I haven't heard of the story. I'm going to assume, just because of the way science experiments go, that at the beginning they were like, we've removed all predators. It's a utopia, right? It's a mouse utopia, mice utopia. It's all going to be good. They're going to get fat and lazy, maybe get heart disease.
Oh.
But at some point, I think it turns awry. At some point, I think they start eating each other. It starts to get crazy at some point. So that's my prediction. Like, I think it's going to go bad, and these scientists are not going to know what to do.
Pop.
Great movie. You should have watched it when you were younger. The Killer Shrews. You know, the shrews were the smallest mammal. Well, these were on an atomic bomb island, and they grew up to be the size of dogs. And this family was trapped on the island, and these shrews would attack them.
Shrew?
Yes. It's a real movie. Hey, for all of you people out there that in movie land, The Killer Shrews. It was great.
We're sponsored by
But
Killer Shrews.
that's what's going to happen. You're going to have killer mice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how close we got. Okay. I'm just going to break it down by the days here. So phase 1 was 0 to 104. Adaptation. The initial adjustment and breeding population doubled every 55 days.
Oh, I didn't
Okay.
think about
That's what happened in The Killer Shrews.
So these mice, okay.
Pause
Kill
with
it,
the killer shrews,
kill,
Bob.
kill it with the shrews. Okay, so we have this. They have food, they have water, they have all their needs, no predators. This is what happens. They ultimately double within 55 days
Yeah.
their actual population.
Yep.
From 105 to 315, it's rapid growth, as you would expect with a population boom.
Exponential.
Yeah, it increased to 620 mice, with social hierarchies forming and normal behaviors prevailing. Mice will be mice. Everybody's happy, but there seems to be normal hierarchy.
Yes.
There's some big dogs in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some alpha males. I can tell.
As you would assume. I mean,
They
you
probably
got,
had a set on
grooms.
them.
Okay.
They knew who the alpha was.
Day 316 to 560, population peaked at around 2,200, far below the capacity, which I think is important, as overcrowding led to behavioral sync.
It's happening.
Okay. A collapse in social structures. Okay. Dominant males guarded territories
Hello.
while subordinate males withdrew into passive groups called beautiful ones.
Betas.
Focusing only on grooming, eating, and sleeping,
Oh
avoiding
no.
mating or fighting. Females became aggressive,
They were gay mice.
neglecting or attacking pups, and infant mortality rose to 96%. 561 days to, wow, big jump, 1,588 days. This one's called decline to extinction. Birth rates plummeted, as you would imagine. Wow. To preface, they have all the food, all the water, no predators, just them living with everything that they need.
They didn't
all-
have to work to get nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. And they had all the sex they
Surviving-
wanted.
Yeah,
Except for the groomers.
except for the, yeah.
They were too busy brushing their hair, doing their nails.
Getting all ratatouille on it. The last birth occurred at day 600. Surviving mice exhibited asexual behavior, cannibalism, and hyperaggression. By day 1,588, the population reached 0, with the final mice being elderly and incapable of reproduction.
Wow.
So, I think they preface also with this study. It's not solely. This is mice, not human. But there are some steep correlations that I think are with what's going on today. Just to be honest, you have something on your mind. Say it.
Killer shrews, man. I'm telling you.
There it is.
Yes. At the end, when the humans left the island, they turned on themselves and ate each other up, and thus disappeared.
Well, they lived in a utopia, sure. They did. They didn't kill themselves off, right? We're not going there. I'm not going down the shrew. You can't sucker me into this.
No, the
other
shrews
story.
ate themselves. They cannibalized. They
Okay.
killed each other off.
So I think it's interesting. There's a lot of correlations with the utopian society that everybody's looking for. Like, oh, I want all the food. Don't worry about money. Let's just get everything that we need. Let's just have this society where we can thrive together. And my point is to do what? There's no purpose involved. There's nothing bringing us back from sleep, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty creepy once you look at the congestion of inner city developments, and not just inner city but large cities altogether.
Yeah.
You start to see very defining lines, such as the betas and the alphas separating, the aggression among other mice. And I don't know. I just think it's really creepy, and it's utopia is not. It is ultimately dystopian. But
Turns into that.
yeah. So a segue that I had from that one, because that's pretty much the story. It doesn't end well for the mice.
When did they do this?
1972.
Yeah.
And they actually did it several times. I think this particular one that is referenced is Universe 25. So they
Yeah.
created this particular universe, and they called it 25 for the mice. I think they did a couple different studies, but this was the one that was most publicized and looked at.
So why do they use mice for these studies? They
Well,
can't reason.
Well, that's the thing. That's their reply, is that there's no direct human parallels that were intended. The mice lack complex culture and technology. So there is that. I mean, they're not human.
Yeah, they're probably doing an experiment to say, okay, take out the human faculty of reason and rationality, and let's see what happens. I think it is interesting that you, in the animal kingdom, that you see that kind of hierarchy like naturally develop. You know, I remember seeing a study on like how that happens.
Yeah.
I think that the way that I saw that when you were reading that was that it's a greater warning that the more we remove ourselves from not just reason and rationality, but from what sets us apart from the animal kingdom. You know, the whole concept of, oh, we're animals. Well, we're not. We're made in the image of God, right? We are closer in likeness to our Creator than the rest of creation. And so, but you remove that aspect from the human psyche, we can turn into that. When we go to only looking for our base needs and neglecting what the people that God's called us to be, and looking out for one another, we turn into that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the warning. That's the warning that I see for sure.
Well, I think that it's kind of this society of constantly pushing us towards this utopian to get us away from understanding that we are created in the image of God. What, the shrewds?
No. I mean, think about it. What animal has the most organs similar to the human?
Shrews.
Pigs.
Pigs. So let's do a study with pigs. Get about 1,000 pigs together and do the same study with them and see what happens. Could you imagine a pig turning on another pig and eating him. That
Yes.
would be good. Yeah, that would be interesting.
It happens. It happens in pens that are constricted.
Really?
You can also
Cannibal pigs?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man,
You can
that's got to
set
be
They
weird.
make the best bacon, by the way.
And-
Pig
Yeah.
and pig, buddy.
Wow.
pig stuff pig. Okay, so
Segue.
into a utopian society that we're kind of almost being driven into. Have you heard of the Microsoft patent W02020060606?
Yes, I just saw it yesterday.
Oh my goodness!
Hold on a second. No, I'm just joking about that because the number threw me off. Do we want to turn that fan off? I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn it off, but I'll find it. Dad, you're about to get hot. That'll be all right.
Shocker.
As long as the door is closed, I'm
Speaking of pig,
Yeah. So here's a thought.
okay.
Do you think when Jesus comes back and sets up his millennial kingdom, that will be a utopian society?
No, it's a monarchy.
You think so?
It's his kingdom.
Theocratic
Just living in
monarchy,
it.
is that what it is?
Hey, Caroline, can you grab me a root beer? Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, so
back to your segue.
Okay. The whatever that is.
The
I have no
Microsoft
idea
this
what
is
that
an
is.
Yes.
actual patent.
Real patent. All right, go.
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Okay. So Bill Gates.
Okay. Thank
No, he's just associated himself.
you. Disassociated himself?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, words are hard.
He just got all the money.
All right,
Cashing that check though.
so Microsoft patent W02020060606, titled Cryptocurrency System Using Body Activity Data, describes a system where the human body activity, brainwaves, body heat, blood flow, is used for cryptocurrency mining. A sensor or a user's device detects activity, generates data, and a cryptocurrency system verifies it and awards currency. Filed in June of 2019, published in 2020 of March, which is an interesting March 2020. It does not mention microchip implants or despite some claims. But I offer this. What else do you wear on your hand?
Watch.
Exactly. And what is constantly being pushed right now by Meta, Apple, and Microsoft and others?
Goggles. Things like
Glasses. Yeah. With Ray-Ban and so on. I mean, that's the rage in tech right now. Is trying to get all that information on your eyes. So this, and it goes through a list of lots of research. Oh, here we go. Real quickly, it was partnered with this particular one is the United Nations, World Economic Forum,
Bro, anything with those two in it, I'm out.
and the World Bank.
Out.
Just saying.
Out.
Just saying. Can I go back to the number for a second here?
Yes. Unsubscribe.
060606.
Oh. Snizap.
I mean,
Forehead.
so
hand.
one of the descriptions that it gives, and it's not far off base because I've seen it a couple years ago, is in China they had a system for children that they would sit on their heads, and it would let you know if they were concentrating. It would track their eye movement. Their teachers would be able to know if they're paying attention or misbehaving or daydreaming, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just what it is. And we were like, oh, this is going to revolutionize the way we learn. Okay, cool. Whatever. But with all that information, one of the examples that it listed was, let's just say that you are watching an ad. It will detect whether you are actually watching this ad and receiving it versus, you know how you get the ads on your phone and you just kind of look away until it's over?
Yeah, or until that skip button comes up.
Exactly. Well, if you finish that ad and you have paid attention to it,
You get crypto.
you get rewarded. Well, what happens in a society when we give everybody all the money they want, all the food that they want, get rid of every predatorial situation, crime rate down? What are people going to do? Robots have jobs. AI is over everything.
Universe 25
My point.
and the island of killer shrews.
In the island
Yes,
of killer
yes.
shrews.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, I mean it incentivizes. I think one of the way that they're also going to promote it, though. So there's a book written by John Lennox, Christian mathematician, apologist. He's like our generation C.S. Lewis, except he's not literary. He's mathematics, but he is awesome. But he wrote a book called 2084, kind of a kickoff of the 1984. Where he talks about AI and technology and stuff, and he brings up that specific thing. When you were given details, I was like, oh, he was talking about that Chinese experiment and all of that. And it's it's going to be sold as also like it's going to read all your health, right? So it's going to incentivize good health. So if you're overweight, and by increasing those who have and decreasing the basically the funds or the life of those who have not, it's going to further increase that gap, and yeah, dude. And I mean, you're not incentivizing work per se. You're incentivizing lifestyle. And at the end of the day, they're the ones that are creating the things that they incentivize. That's the thing. If they were like, and I think the way that they're going to pitch it is they're going to be like, listen, if you do these good things, if you work hard at your job, if you show us that you're legit focused and do all of these things, you're going to get, your pay will reflect that. So two people could be working the same job, but you're going to get paid more if you're more clued in than the other guy, right? And that's the way they're going to sell. They're going to go, oh, you know what? I should get paid more if I'm working harder.
Yeah.
But then they start creating, and throwing other things in there and incentivizing. They get to choose what they incentivize, and that's the scary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
And I mean,
and
if everyone's connected to this thing, they can also decentivize or penalize. Like, you go to church, you're reading scripture.
Oh yeah.
You somehow get penalized.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, so
this is like the realest, like almost tangible thing of the mark that I've ever seen.
yeah, this is true.
And keep in mind that number is not generated by them. That's a random number. They just don't like, oh yeah, let's do this number for you. This patent. It has nothing to do with them.
Well, those numbers are constantly getting churned out.
Yeah,
too. Like they're just
they were assigned that number. Now it goes on to say that the project was abandoned. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Probably from immense amount of scrutiny.
well.
And
it may
they
have been
just hid
that
it.
may have been abandoned, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been, readjusted or started in some other project form.
Or
we've all
is-
seen Marvel. Shield does that all the time.
I know. Anyway, that's just,
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
that is crazy.
So heading to a utopian society is probably not.
Mark of the Beast,
Exactly.
Apple Watches, and Meta glasses.
And there you have it.
Watch out for it.
Apple Vision.
It's coming.
Anyway, that blew my mind. I was watching. Dad and I talked about that yesterday, and we went into great length and scripturally.
Yeah, and we
it's-
talked about how AI is going to come into play. Because, in Revelation, it talks about the image of the beast. Creates an image of the beast. And you wonder, with all that's going on with AI,
Will that be a digital
will it
image?
be a
Is that
digital
what it's
image?
going
And he
on?
says it gives power to speak. And they're doing these holograms now. Imagine that there's a AI-generated hologram of a person.
Yeah.
But, this has been the subject of Revelation and end times. Was that eschatology?
Yeah.
That's gone on for generations.
It's a big word, Pop.
Y'all
Good
don't-
job.
I know it. Before y'all were around, there was Hal Lindsey. Y'all remember the name, but he wrote a book called The Late Great Planet Earth. In there, he talked about how the Social Security number, the barcode, Always something that ties to being able to identify people. And so this is nothing new. And I don't know if it's an effort for Satan to try to confuse man and to get him to thinking, or God is using this as a signal to just warn us that, hey, it's going to happen. Be aware. Because it says in there, the man that sees this should have wisdom and notice these things, and be aware of these things around us.
Well, even for instance, the barcode, like he had mentioned in that book, those are stepping stones to where we are now.
Oh, yeah.
And whether this is a stepping stone or the thing, you could just see the progression of it. Like it's like on its way, if not there, but it's another stepping stone that I think has gone underlooked.
Well, for years when it came to storing data, you were limited. I remember I had a computer, the internal RAM in it was 64K. And now it's into multiple terabytes.
Oh, goodness.
To the point where now you could just about put the names of every human being on one little thumbnail disk. So the means of counting people and with AI and identifying people and facial recognition. I mean, I heard this morning people take phone calls from these scammers, and the phone calls are recorded, and those scammers put it into AI, and that AI pretty well can tell the bank, hey, release all your money to me. So, I mean, you got to be careful and be aware. You mentioned situational awareness. We need to be aware that these things are around us and not be ignorant of it.
Well, we have to be good. We have to be way better stewards of technology. And by that, I mean, not just, all right, if they come out with something, we choose to get it or not get it. Like that definitely is certainly a consideration that we need to take. But we have to be, as far as those that are developing technology, the Christians that are developing technology and that are part of these think tanks, we've got to be better stewards of saying, okay, yeah, we can do these things, but should we do these things? And what are the ramifications of these things? And Tony Reinke wrote a book called Theology of Technology that I read last year, and it talks about these things. I think for the most part, we've always, since the 1940s and 50s, especially in pop culture, we've always seen technological advancements as positives, right? Microwave, good. We can do things quicker. The computer comes in, we can work. We're going to have a 4-day work week. No, we're not. We're just going to work more all throughout the week. We're not going to take a day off. We're going to continue to work ourselves to death. So I think that's why I think we have, as Christians, we have to enter into these conversations and put the brakes on some things that we see. Like, what? Look, this is not good. These are, you say that technology is going to allow us to do this, this, and that. Well, let's talk about the things that it could be used for.
Right.
On the other side of the coin, on the evil side, and on the oppressive side. And then we have to make the hard decision of saying, we're not going to pursue that because, it gets not even just gets into the wrong hands, but just gets in ignorant hands. And, I think that's important. I think AI has opened up a lot of people's eyes. Now, I don't think that the right response is fear technology. Everybody, AI can do a bunch of stuff.
Right.
But we are light years away from it being like me and you. We really are.
I wouldn't say light years, but
I would say, because you have to program it to do certain things.
it'll never have a soul, is what I mean.
Well, I don't think, but it's limited in the fact that, our brain can do way more than what an AI program, algorithmic program, even a learning program can do. It can do certain things super fast and super quick, way faster and way quicker than us. And I think that's what scares us. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know if you saw the soccer game that they played with these AI robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a joke.
We got some ways to go before that legit becomes an issue. But on that.
But you got to think everything they put out in public, everything that you see is only skin deep of what military use, government use is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
They're not going to release all their eggs and be like, hey, this is what we got.
Well,
but still, the human element is still very much a large part of that. Most of what people see as AI is just learned technology. There's no sentience. There's nothing like that. No evidence of that. There's learning AI and things like that. So, but all that to say that fear is not the right response either. Stewardship is not fear, and stewardship is not just like apathy either. So we have to be, we have to be aware.
Well, not only that, anything AI, whether it be a robot or a computer, it doesn't have the gifts of the Spirit that God gives to Christians, to those that believe in Him. And those gifts of the Spirit are way beyond what AI can ever accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll never understand those gifts, and they'll also never understand sarcasm, which is one of the reasons.
Right.
I mean, they'll never be able to. They can write you a joke, but they'll never understand how we can flip from saying, "Yeah, AI is the best in the world. It's going to help everybody." It won't understand. It just hears the words.
That's how we're going to defeat them when it goes Terminator.
Right.
We're going to communicate like the Enigma machine, and we're going to communicate in sarcastic code.
I don't know if you
like,
remember.
don't shoot them. And they're like, oh, put guns down. They won't shoot.
And in 2020, like shortly, this is like the height of COVID, and a lot of comedians were under attack. A lot of free speech altogether.
Yeah.
And I told Virginia, I said, "You watch, Virginia. The people that are going to break first and stand up are going to be comedians because you're starting to mess with their territory."
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? It started happening.
Dave Chappelle jumped right off.
Oh my goodness!
Went after him.
I mean, and it's safe.
Bill Maher,
Mar.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's same thing.
Well, it's somewhat saved free speech in a lot of ways. Thank you. But I think correctly, the way we defeat AI is through comedy. I honestly,
yeah, for sure.
I honestly. For our visually impaired listeners.
I have a prophetic word for that.
Oh, Lord.
This podcast is going to, when that stuff hits the fan, this podcast will be the way that we communicate.
That's
We'll
true.
have written scripts. They won't even see it. They're like, oh, these are just guys talking sarcastically with comedy, and there's going to be secret codes embedded
Yep.
into everything
Yep.
that we say.
We'll save humanity.
yeah.
Jesus saves. What? Huh?
Yep. Very good, Al.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Interesting topics.
Good
Sorry-
stuff.
Sorry
Good
if it got
stuff.
a little heavy.
Pop. Give us an advertisement. So who sponsored us today?
Oh, Fix Coffee Company. Are you looking for your fix? Come to Fix Coffee Company, downtown Pensacola's go-to spot for bold brews.
Come on.
Right here.
Located at 407 South Palafox Street, we proudly serve premium single-origin coffees from Brazil, Colombia,
Specialty coffee, not premium. It's a proper grade.
Papua New Guinea,
Specialty.
Costa
not premium.
Rica, and Guatemala. Plus a rich, chemical-free Swiss water decaf for the perfect unwind.
Swiss water decaf.
Yeah.
Good night.
So whether you're fueling your day or savoring the moment, find your flavor at Fix Coffee Company. Fix Coffee, brewed with purpose, served with love.
Hold on to your books. Hold on to your book.
If you guys are on YouTube, smash that like button, hit subscribe,
Yes.
get us to the top.
Get us to the top.
The top. We can
Very
make
good.
it. Do it.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Tell your mama. Tell your daddy. Tell everybody out there.
All right.
All right, look, I'm going to do another ad.
Oh, well, okay.
And let you pick which one you want to use. So give me a break. Hey, tired of coffee that tastes like regret and cardboard? Stop the madness. Come to Fix Coffee Company at 407 South Palafox Street, where your taste buds will be finally forgive you. We're brewing the good stuff. Single origin beans, specialty beans from Brazil, Colombia, Papua New Guinea, Costa Rica, and Guatemala.
Etc.
Even our Swiss water decaf is smooth. You'll forget it's decaf, and so will your grandma. Fix Coffee, because life's too short for bad coffee, and decaf deserves redemption.
Harry Carey, what do you think about it?
Hey, stop the man. Drink fixed coffee. I know I do. I always like to wash it down with an ice cold Budweiser.
You nut.
All right. Subject number deuce.
Deuce.
So,
double deuce.
month of July, July 2nd, was World UFO Day. Okay. It's actually celebrated on 2 different dates. July 2nd, which commemorates the alleged UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico,
Oh. What is that?
1947.
What is that? What do they call it? 57?
Yes.
What is it
No.
called?
Area 51.
Area 51.
You remember
yes.
that shooting game, Area 51?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Some people celebrate it on June 24th, which marks the first widely reported UFO sighting in the United States by pilot Kenneth Arnold in 1947. 1947 was a big year for UFOs.
Yeah.
And for the world.
And a bunch of them were spotted in Gulf Breeze.
Yes.
Yes. here in
Pop.
Florida.
That's what we're about to get into.
Thank you
I
very
saw
much.
one on the beach.
Go for it.
Did you really?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Legit. Okay. So I remember as a kid going to the Pensacola Public Library, going to that back corner where they had all of the ghost stuff and
Yeah.
the UFO stuff. And I'd sit back there and read those books. So cool. And of course, classic 90s kid nostalgia watching X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Legit.
Mulder.
Scully.
Yes.
With that said, the Gulf Breeze UFO incident, all right? So, from November 11th, 1987 to May 1st, 1988 is the time period that all of this happened.
This is Gulf Breeze. Our Gulf Breeze.
Our
Yes.
Gulf Breeze, man.
Gulf Breeze,
Yeah,
Florida,
man.
bro.
Big time.
It's so close.
So, a guy named Ed Walters. who was-
Walter. Yeah, he played
called-
for the Astros.
Ed Walter?
Okay, never mind.
Ed Walters was a contractor in Gulf Breeze. All right, so he saw this UFO. Just a lot of stuff happened to him. Bless his heart. He saw this UFO. 2 times he said that it shot out a bright blue beam, which immobilized him. Immobilized
Yes.
him, lifted him about 3 feet off the ground.
Not the death ray.
Not the death ray. No. So the first time this happened, he started trying to resist it, you know, and in his mind, he saw pictures of dogs. He saw a bunch of pictures of different dogs, and then it let him go and disappeared. The second time this happened,
Hold on.
yes,
He saw it. That was part of his resisting, was seeing dogs?
no, when he started to kind of resist it, it said that he saw visions
Okay.
of dogs.
Okay.
So don't
I didn't know if
use
that
them
was
to
like the
calm him
deterrent.
down.
Like, oh, this was
Like Astro?
a dog.
No. He saw pictures of dogs. Second time, he saw a myriad of naked women of all shapes and sizes, apparently.
He did not resist.
That resistance was done. He also photographed his wife outrunning the beam. There's a photo. You can see all of these online when you look it up. It's pretty cool. Photographed his wife outrunning that blue beam. He heard aliens on these occasions.
Was she naked?
Multiple occasions. No, she was not one of the naked women. He heard aliens speaking to him telepathically, as they do.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
But get this, in both English and Spanish.
No.
Well, that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes.
It is an alien.
In
Yes.
both male and female, so they're non-binary and bilingual. Apparently. Actually, trilingual, because one time he heard it not in an African language, but in English with an African dialect.
Is that a
So it
trans
sounded like
language?
Wakanda.
yeah, so they're trisexual.
Yeah.
Trans language.
Translanguage? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't
Wait,
know.
so they're speaking
It
to
was
him.
Wakanda. They named him whenever they would address him. Eventually, like they started calling him Zahas. Zahas. They kept saying they called him Zahas. Yes. One time while he was on Soundside Drive, he saw a ship. Yep, he saw a ship come down, big, stopped his car.
Oh, no.
And shot that ship shot 5 beams out, and in each of the beams shot out little aliens on the road right in front of them. All right. So he took all kinds of pictures. You can go online and find them. There's like 32 to 40 pictures. Hey man, don't you know those, man? took all kinds of pictures, saw aliens both in his house, outside. One account, one picture, there's actually 3 UFOs that he sees and takes a picture. You can find these pictures online and also in his book that he wrote and put together. Some of them far away, but then that one on the road where he shot the little alien guys out, like that one, like you can see the hood of his car and then like maybe 20 or 30 feet out. It's right there. During this period, he, about a month after this happened, the first encounter happened, he sent pictures to the Sentinel, which apparently is, I don't know if it's still existing in Gulf Breeze, but it was a local paper. And he sent it under the name Mr. X because he didn't want to get made fun of.
Good reason. What did they name him?
Zahas.
Zahas.
I would have submitted it under Zahas. I'm like, they gave me a name.
Under
Or at
order
least
of
Mr. Z.
Zahas.
Yes, under order of Zahas. These are weird. These are real.
Manifesto of Zahas.
Yes, and the Sentinels.
Several, yes.
Remember X-Men?
Yes.
The Sentinels.
Yes,
Yeah.
Zahas and the Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
So in several of these experiences, he had what's called time loss, which is a normal thing in encounters, where you feel like it's an instant, but all of a sudden it's been hours.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
get that when I'm on the pot.
Yes. Yeah.
The
it's
toilet.
It's called doom scrolling. That happens to me on YouTube. Maybe via YouTube we're being abducted. It would make sense.
Maybe YouTube was originally called Zahas Tube.
Zahas Tube. Z-Tube. November 25th, 1987, 5 witnesses report seeing that same object. So when it's all coming out, and people are like, hey, wait a minute here. What's going on?
Yeah,
I was going to ask, it's like, this seems a lot of action for one person.
Yeah, it does. So that's the thing. So if it was just one guy during this time, you'd be like, all right, this guy's just doing it to make money, because we'll see later, he makes a bunch of money.
Yes.
But one guy,
Capitalism.
kind of like Jeffrey Epstein,
one guy says that he saw actually like military jets following the UFO, which of course the military denied, as they always do.
That's a smart move. Let's
one
be
of the things I
honest.
thought was funny when you listen to his story that he wrote in his book, like every time he has an encounter with these guys, he always goes out there with his Polaroid camera that he's going to take a picture. Right?
Oh, yeah.
In one hand and his shotgun in the other.
Yes.
My boy.
That's America right
That's
there.
right.
Son. Yeah.
Looking for Sasquatch.
And he was always like threatening them to leave me alone.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He was like,
go.
get out of my head.
You don't know where you landed, boy.
He's like, but hold on a second before I shoot you.
By the
By
way,
that
can you
time they
send
were
me
gone.
another one of those mental pictures again?
Right. I wasn't quite clear on that message you were trying to send me.
Send it again.
December 3rd, 1987, picture taken 1 year before was submitted to the Sentinel. So at this time, somebody that took a picture a year earlier, when his pictures were coming out, they're like, dude, I've seen the same one. I got a picture.
I get on
But
this
because they were
bandwagon.
afraid that they'd be made fun of, they didn't
rightfully
let
so.
that out. So they sent that.
Or they wanted him to
Just
get
like
all
that.
the flack.
Quite possibly. So at some point during this time, I think in December, a network called MUFON, MUFON. They're the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON.
Yeah.
It's a it's a legit company. It's a nonprofit UFO research company that was started in 1969, and they got involved. They analyzed the pictures to see if they were double exposures and things like that.
You need some verification.
Never proven to be faked by MUFON, which is always interesting because it's like you're a UFO research, and you're the one that's going to judge. Like you're already, I would think that you're already biased, but they may have some, unbiased people.
Kind
on
of
the team.
it's
Who
like
knows?
watching these paranormal shows.
Yeah,
There was a ghost. I saw him.
yeah,
Did you feel that?
yeah. I farted.
Yeah, sure did.
Cal, I farted. All throughout this time, many other witnesses are coming forward with UFO sightings. That's the thing about this. Like, they weren't the only one. But all of this stuff was going on in Gulf Breeze. And it's like once he started talking about it, everybody was coming out of the woodworks. Later on, Ed went through regressive hypnosis, which was also big in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Regressive hypnosis. Since then, proven to be absolutely inaccurate. Kind of
It's now
ridiculous.
called
Too bad.
regretful hypnosis.
Yes,
bad.
it's regretful that they had regressive hypnosis to find info from lost memories. Through that, he did find, when he was 12, 17, and 25, he had already had experience with alien abductions. So through this hypnosis, he had these experience. He kind of woke up that he had encounters with aliens before. Ed, this is interesting. Ed took 2 different polygraph tests at 2 different times, and the results of those tests were that the analyzer for those tests said Ed legitimately believes the pictures and personal sightings were real. So he was convinced, whether it was or not or what was happening. Ed was definitely convinced that what he saw was real.
That's right.
And
The test was performed by MUFON.
no, it was not. But 50-50 on whether
By Zoha.
Zahas.
Zahas.
Yeah,
it was performed by
that's right.
Zahas.
Zahas.
himself.
50-50 on whether his photos were real, depending on who you read. Some people analyze it. Some people. Now, there is one interesting one. I don't know anything about photo.
Photos.
Yes, about photos. Period in general. But double exposure and how to do all of that stuff. But there was one picture that that one analyzer said there's no way that this is a double exposure because it had to do with the fact that there's a tree line and the UFO was kind of basically being covered by the tree line. So there was depth to the picture. There was multiple layers.
Yeah.
And he said you can't do that with double exposure.
Right.
It sits on top of the, I guess you're taking the picture without advancing the frame.
Yeah.
So the next picture is layered on top of it.
Yeah.
And so that's how that's supposed to happen.
Interesting.
So anyway, and he supposedly spent money on some really expensive cameras that were very difficult to produce double exposures on and stuff to try to prove that these were legitimate things. During this time, some other reputable people in the community, not just dudes sitting out on their back porch smoking weed. There was a councilwoman in Santa Rosa County and a Santa Rosa County commissioner. They both claimed sightings during this time. A bunch of different people were reporting UFO stuff during this period. There was a toll booth operator on the Pensacola Beach toll booth that said that they had seen stuff. All different. One particular resident said that they saw 8 helicopters chasing a UFO.
Yeah, buddy.
And this was actually in 1990, so this was several years after. Of course, the U.S. Navy denied that. In the end, Ed Walters had, throughout this whole deal, he had a $200,000 book deal that I'm sure he cashed in because he did write a book. And ABC offered him $450,000. So almost $500,000. I mean, back in the late 80s, early 90s, that's some change, boy. Heck, that's some change today. I'll take it. ABC offered him $450,000 for miniseries rights.
Oh.
So in the media, years later,
Did they ever do an X-Files on Gulf Breeze?
no, but
They
we'll
did go to
get there.
Pensacola.
Oh, okay.
We'll get there. They do that. Do that.
Nuclear doo-doo.
Nuclear doo-doo. October 5th. Don't hit me with the shoot. October 5th, 1988, there was an Unsolved Mysteries. Remember that show? Creeped every kid out. Called UFO Cover-Up Live. It featured the Gulf Breeze UFO case.
Nice.
I did see in some of the videos I was watching on YouTube, there were not... I don't remember if Ed Walters was on the show, but there were other people from Gulf Breeze that were talking about it at that time on that. It was the Oprah show.
Ooh.
So I mean, a national, legit. Eyewitnesses talked on that show, A Current Affair.
Yeah.
Remember that
Yeah.
show? Was that a political show kind of thing, or just a
Things happening around the country.
Yeah, murders and junk. And here we go, a 1994 episode of the X-Files. Oh. Mulder mentions the Gulf Breeze UFO photos. He says a line that was the first time he saw them, he knew they were fake. because he's Fox Mulder.
Oh,
Bummer, right?
I mean, it's
But
pretty
that was
much
the that was
established
the that was
it's
the
fake.
prevailing thing then too. Like he you know, even Mulder. It's pretty bad when Mulder is like, yeah, they're fake, because he was the believer, right?
Yeah,
Was
he was the true believer.
Was X-Files ABC?
I don't remember.
He
thought
turned
they
down.
were
Oh, it was Fox.
actors.
It was
Okay,
Fox.
I was gonna say he turned down ABC, and so they're like,
And
"Oh,
sold
we're
out
gonna
to Fox.
we're gonna discredit you." So they had Mulder say they were fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Conspiracy.
Deep.
So, with all that said, Dad, please tell me you knew about all this crap going on in 1987.
Please.
Al was almost 2. No, I mean 4.
Yep.
Wait, 3. I'm a mathematician. I like math. He was
Numbers are
almost
fun.
3. I was 4. 4.5. Do you remember all this?
I remember
Do you
because I was
stuff
working
going
at the county. And, you know, Escambia County, Santa Rosa County, all that area, we were all tied together. So all that news was happening. I was reading it just like you're reading right now. Yeah.
What were you thinking about it, though? Like, well, what was your... You were just kind of...
I didn't believe in them. I don't believe in extraterrestrials. So it was like, well, that's just garbage. But, you know, when you talk about the pictures and all these verifications and, you know, you said earlier, there's no telling what the government has. It's like, we get personal computers, you know, 25 years ago, everybody's using personal computer. Well, the government's had computers back before this. That's what they sent the darn Saturn missile to spaceship up to the moon. So they had very sophisticated computers.
Mm-hmm.
So
We were living... Were we on Sunset
it was
in
on Sunset.
1987?
Yep.
When did we move there?
Are you sure about
We
that?
moved there in 86 and we left there in 99. 1999.
Dude.
Yep.
Oh, how time flies.
Dude, that was 13 years, right? 13 years?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
We did
that 13 years seemed like 25 years. To me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
when you're a kid,
Oh yeah.
that time seems so long. I mean, I've been in Crestview for 15 years
I
this
know.
year. Bruh.
Bruh.
However, I think, like, back then, if we had had, like, social media back then, dude, that stuff would have been all over the place.
Oh,
You'd
man.
have had
Oh, yeah.
video. I mean, it would have been nuts.
Oh yeah.
Nutso. It would have been even crazier than it was.
Yeah. Him,
yeah.
Him and Elon be like that.
So with that, where are you guys at? Like, Dad already kind of shared, but where are you guys at with the alien stuff?
Supernatural. I mean, it's not alien stuff. It's demonic or angelic, whatever the apparition is. That's my opinion. I mean, so do you remember? You know who Aleister Crowley is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was his wife.
Satan?
Yeah, a Satan worshiper, and him and his wife. His wife would have visitations, and he had an artist come and render, basically, you know, how the cops do to identify somebody with, you know, what do they call it? Just sketches.
It's a
sketch artist.
Yeah. Forensic sketch artist.
Yes.
Something like
And this particular demon, I think it wasn't any particular name or anything, but this apparition that she would speak to, spiritual, demonic, Satan thing. Excuse me. All said and done, it looked like your typical gray alien, big eyes, oddly shaped head.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that aliens look like that, or I mean, or demons look like that. I think they take on many stupid-looking forms, and they're imps at best. But I don't know. I mean, they could look like that, but at the end of the day, I don't necessarily
Bro.
believe that. See,
That's it.
Well.
Yeah, dude.
show the camera.
That also looks like. That also looks like, what's that? Green Lantern. The
Yeah, the
those
brain.
guys.
Yeah. But doesn't typical looking gray alien that you would come across?
Well, that's like, do you believe in dragons?
Yes.
You know, when you see all the sketches and paintings and stuff of the Chinese Ming Dynasty, and it goes way back, you know, and you got all these, they celebrate the dragon celebration and all that stuff. There were dragons. Now, Were they like the kind we see on TV? I don't think so. But think about Leviathan in the Old Testament, Job, or Behemoth. You know, those were dinosaurs, as far as I'm concerned. And
Well, in every culture, not to shift to dragons, but in every culture up until like the 1600s, constantly talked about it. They were on flags. They were on from different nations that never saw each other. It's not, you just don't make up the same kind of looking animal, you know, whether it be a griffin or a dragon or you know, something that spewed fire, whatever. It's all out there. I believe they were taken out.
And I
Just
do.
killed.
I
They probably tasted a lot better than pork.
I combine I don't think that
Better than
all
bacon?
of them were merely just creatures in so far as like animals, right? That were just merely reptiles or dinosaurs. I do, but there was there was a spiritual component to that, which is why we see reptilian imagery in all kinds of idol worship, in both prehistoric and even early history. I mean, look at the image of the serpent. It's in Scripture too. You know, why did these? I mean, the word seraphim they use for angels is a word that a seraph is a serpent being. Like these words, they mean something. They're describing something. Again, not to segue, maybe we'll talk about it at a different time, but that's when people are, there's a great Haunted Cosmos episode that talks about psychedelics, like DMT, ayahuasca, and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And these people that are experimenting with it, both in safe environments and non-safe environments, they're witnessing a lot of the similar things. And one of the things that keeps popping up is these serpentine demons. And these are people that they're not talking about the same thing. You know, they're not talking to each other saying, all right, you know, so they're not being influenced, but they're witnessing these serpentine demons, you know, that are befriending them at first. And then they say the more that they are in contact with them and give them a little bit more of themselves, they start to turn on them, right? Leading them to destruction. And I mean, I really think, and I think, you know, that in regards to psychedelics, which is where we have to be careful, I think that what that does is that allows, it's a way for humankind to peer into the spirit realm, and we are not meant to do that ourselves. If you look in Scripture, anytime man received a vision, it came from God. He was under His protection. And it was for a purpose, right? And He forbade witchcraft, necromancy, us
Sorcery.
doing things on our own in order to gain power or gain knowledge. And this, He forbade that because we're not under His protection when we do that, right? It's not for us. So.
Well, you think about it.
That's the dangerous thing. I know a lot of people are being helped, and see, that's kind of where I'm at. A lot of people are being helped by psychedelics and things like that now, especially soldiers coming back with PTSD, and I know that they'll go through, under medical observation, you know, doses of DMT and things like that, and it's helping them with that. I'm not quite sure how that's helping them. I've got some theories, but that we can talk about another time. But I think when we talk about stewardship of technology, stewardship of these things, of medical technology, really, you could say, in this particular instance, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. These are not just things that were just, you know, created in our head. There's a spiritual element to technology. There's a spiritual element to all of these things, and I think aliens fit into that. There's some cool theories. My thing with aliens is kind of like with Bigfoot. There are so many people. Some of and you know, are there hoaxes? Absolutely. There's some people just, you know, talking out of their butt. But there've been a lot of people who have had legitimate experiences, even traumatizing ones. Like their lives are ruined from alien encounters and stuff like that. Like these are not things, and they're as broke as anybody else. It's not like they're billionaires making money off of this. Not everybody that has had these is in a better state because of that, right? So, and people have experienced things. People have seen things. I mean, you know, people have seen things in the sky that, you know, I mean, you said you saw something that were like, nope, that ain't no airplane or helicopter.
I don't know
you know
what
what I'm
that
saying?
is, but
all of this stuff and experience things. So, I take those as real experiences. Now, when we get into interpreting exactly what they are, there's just a lot of things we're not going to know.
Yeah.
But to deny them altogether, I think, is foolish.
Well, it's like the we talked about it. I don't remember the name of the doctor. You can do your own research. But basically, this Christian was also into UFOs, and he got a revelation that it was demonic, and instructed his patients to, whenever they encountered another abduction, air quotes for those that can't see, to tell it to go in Jesus' name. And he got back, I don't want to say 100% because I don't remember the exact number, but it was darn near 100%. Everyone came back and said, when I said go in Jesus' name, the abduction ended, and I was back to my coherent state.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's he's done 100 plus of these particular. It's probably gone up since then, but that's a crazy realization to realize that even if they are from outer space, God is still in the name of Jesus is a far more
No doubt.
powerful tool than anything.
No doubt. And I think on that, I don't think their existence, I think a lot of people are afraid if we admit their existence, that somehow Scripture falls apart.
No.
And I think that's false. I don't think that falls apart. I don't think anything that's unknown to us somehow destroys what we do know.
Right.
And I think that as Christians, when we talk about stewardship, again, I think we have to steward knowledge and steward experience. And because I think for a long time, our whole thing was that's all hogwash. And we have not built allowed our Christian framework and worldview to include the supernatural, include the weird. And if there's anybody who should have an answer for, dude, I'm seeing ghosts, stuff is moving around in my house, I have this feeling of dread, I'm seeing these things, I've been traumatized by this, we should be the ones that people come to.
Yeah.
Because we
Absolutely.
do have a framework. We have a biblical framework. We got weird stuff in the Bible, man. And even though it doesn't descriptively describe everything, it doesn't fit outside our framework. And I think as believers, we have to have a biblical framework that works with these things. Again, that doesn't mean we have all the right answers. But what it does mean is we don't ostracize people, because that's what has happened. Almost everyone, and it's coming around now, which I'm glad for, with guys with, Blurry Creatures, Haunted Cosmos, and things like that, Ninjas or Butterflies, and all of those guys, they, start to realize, hey, you know what? We shouldn't be afraid of these things. We need to be looking into these things and allowing, basically using these people's experiences to guide them to the gospel. Like with that doctor that you were talking about, saying, yeah, this is spiritual. And who's in charge of those things?
Right.
Who has the authority? And so I think it's important for our particular worldview to include that.
Well, when you look at Scripture, Galatians 5:19 through 21 says, "Now the works of the flesh are evident: sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, and sorcery." If God wasn't concerned about these things, He wouldn't have said, "Okay, stay away from those things."
Right.
So they're evident. They're there.
Exactly.
There is existence.
Exactly.
It says sorcery is listed as a work of the flesh, warning that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. But here's an interesting tidbit. The Greek word here is pharmakeia, which also relates to drug use or poisonings and metaphorically spiritual deception. So there's a lot to what you just said that's even relevant now in what we're living in.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's fun, to do a deep dive on the symbol, the medical symbol of the snake and the staff.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy, go looking into that and seeing where that imagery pops up.
Yeah.
Everywhere. We're talking prehistoric.
Yeah.
Pyramids, all of that. So that, and pharmakeia is of course.
So that's not a reference to the snake that was on Moses' staff.
Right. The bronze.
It was.
That's what I thought.
That was, but that imagery is not exclusive to biblical Christianity. Yeah. It's used in pagan worship as well.
And
Because the serpentine, right? I mean, it's the serpent.
What does Satan do with God's truth?
He twists it.
He twists it to a
Perverts it.
lie. So anything good that God has created, Satan will use it to his advantage and make it evil from his, for his purposes.
Bingo.
So, yeah,
Yep.
good word.
Yep. All right.
Whoa.
What's next?
Smash that like button.
We got Florida Man News from Alan.
Florida Man News? Okay.
Yeah, all right.
I got approval from Bro here. This is not quite Florida Man, but it's pretty hysterical.
It is something that a Florida man probably has done at some point.
This
I'm
is
for sure.
this is pretty epic. All right, this happened in April 24th, 2020.
COVID.
Yep, Josh Swain. I'm pretty sure I said that all wrong. A college student in Tucson, Arizona. Facebook Messenger group chat with other people named Josh. He's frustrated that he shared his name and jokingly challenged to meet at coordinates in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I remember this.
Exactly 1 year later to fight for the exclusive right to use the name Josh. It amassed 64 likes, 64,000 likes, 21,000 retweets within a week. This was during the COVID lockdowns and stuff too. It was held on April 24th in Lincoln, Nebraska, on private property at about 2.6 miles away.
So would they have a duel?
The gathering drew nearly 1,000 spectators and at least 50 participants named Josh from across the U.S., including New York, Washington, and Texas.
Who would
Many
drive that
attended in
far?
costumes like superheroes or Star Wars characters. The event featured nonviolent games like paper, rock, scissor tournaments, large pool noodle battle,
Ooh.
and an open all-in pool noodle battle.
Oh, yeah. Got to have that.
For all the attendees as well.
If any of those Joshes are listening, please
Like
write
and
us.
subscribe.
Yes.
Like them, subscribe, and
Yes.
hit us up on the comments. Say,
Yes.
I'm a Josh.
I'm a Josh.
I was there.
Yes.
And if the winner, Josh Vincent Jr., also known as Little Josh, he was 5 years old at the time, and he won the rights to be called Josh. He was crowned with a Burger King, not a sponsor, paper crown replica. But then all the proceeds went to a fund. It was an overall fundraiser for charity. So apparently there was a follow-up. I'm just now reading this. The second event occurred in May 21st, 2022. Apparently others were not happy about the results here. In Bowling Lake Park in Lincoln, with about 200 attendees, including 20 Joshes. It followed similar format and raised about $20,000 for their charity. Very cool. Which a certain Josh Sellers doubled. Well, good for them.
So we had one winner named Josh that was 5 years old?
Yep.
How long ago was this?
That was in 2021.
2021. So he's what, like 8 or 9 now,
Yep.
huh? So, Josh, if you're listening, go to
Congratulations.
fixcoffeecompany.com and we'll send you a free bag of 12-ounce coffee of your choice.
He's 9. Does he drink coffee?
He will
We'll send
now.
your-
Hey,
Parents.
if he won the
Yeah.
Josh contest, maybe he does.
Yes.
Bro got hair on his chest.
The Josh Battle.
Yes.
Fantastic. Not
Very
quite
good.
Florida man, but
That was good. That's
fun
good.
altogether.
That's cool.
The Nebraska man.
All right, our third and final subject,
Nebraska
Pop.
boy.
Yes.
Bring it up. What do we got? What do we
Yes.
got?
Well, this is stuff that's gone on for generations and generations in American life, I guess. I mentioned to you last podcast.
Only got
that
like
I-
40 minutes left.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to talk about.
Generations.
I wanted to talk about government collaboration
Okay.
with other countries, crime syndicates, other organizations. So, I know you're excited, Alan.
Crime syndicates.
So, just
The
think.
syndicate.
When I put in AI to do some research here, it came out with the 1980s and 1990s. But I wanted to go back a little way, so I went back to the 1900s early, like 1910. And just a couple there that I found that were interesting. For instance, in the Philippines, after we defeated Spain in 1898,
Yes, we did.
the U.S. suppressed the Philippine Republic in a brutal war to establish colonial rule.
Come on.
Pause. Oh. Okay. Good friend of mine.
Not
so,
that good.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And
Love you,
then think of this, Cuba. There was an amendment in 1901 that gave the U.S. the right to intervene in Cuban affairs, effectively controlling its leadership. Interesting. Then you had what was called the Banana Wars, because it was in the Caribbean.
This is not the banana hammock war.
Yes, this was in the 20s. It was Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Said U.S. occupations installed and supported military regimes to stabilize debt repayment and protect American investments.
Come on.
Now, y'all remember not too long ago, Tim Walz, the losing side of the Democratic Party for President of the United States, as vice president,
Yeah.
he gave a speech where he mentioned America used to have the moral authority.
This is Tampon Tim, right?
Yes, Tim
Yes.
Tonton, yes, as Jesse Walters would say.
Yeah.
Well, in that conversation, it was brought up that, you know what, China may be the new moral.
Wow.
Wrong. China. Wrong.
China, wrong, yeah.
Wrong.
So, China, the moral authority. Think about that for a minute. If we had to live by their morals. So,
China's
good
not a
thought.
sponsor, by the way.
Yes, they're not a sponsor, nor will they ever be, probably. Oh, and then we go on to the 30s. You had Latin America, the good neighbor policy under FDR. Reduced direct interventions, but continued support for authoritarian allies like Batista in Cuba.
Dave Batista?
Not Dave Batista.
The authoritative.
No. But we had influence. Now, they talk about Russian collusion in the election, right?
Dad,
Or
why do you channel
China.
Trump?
Or China.
They talk about Russian.
Yes. yes.
collusion.
China.
I'm not saying it. Wait, yes I
I'm just saying that America is not innocent, that we don't do the same thing, that we don't encourage regime changes. Do you remember the last regime change that we attempted? Remember the Great War we had with Afghanistan, saying that sarcastically.
Yeah, that ended well.
That didn't end too good. And before that, the Vietnam War. And we know how that one ended.
Damn.
So, those are...
Good morning, Vietnam.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Cold War, for instance.
Cold
Think
War or
about-
Cold War?
The Cold War, as in Russia.
Like the snowpocalypse we had in Pensacola.
Do y'all
What is
remember?
this?
Do y'all remember in Iran, the Shah of Iran? No, because this was before you were born.
The Shah.
Yes, the Shah. In 1979, remember Iran took over the U.S. Embassy, held them captive. Okay, and this was Jimmy Carter was in office, and he sent a bunch of guys over there to rescue them, and
When-
they
what
got
year
messed
was
up
that?
in the desert. This was in '79, right before
remember
Reagan
that. I
got
was
elected.
watching
it. Oh, man, it was
funny.
intense.
Yeah, yeah. Being that you were born in '82, yeah, right. Okay, quit doing that because you throw me off my rhythm.
Was that the
here.
one that the movie Argo was made after?
I believe it was, or it was close to it.
So good.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
It's great.
Fargo. Is that where they ate people?
Fargo. He
But
was
see,
Bat-
but
he-
see,
he was
we
Batman.
we wanted to have the Shah in there because he had good relations with America. And after that, I don't know if y'all remember, Iran had a war with Iraq, and at one time we supported Iran to defeat Iraq, and then it became Iran to defeat Iraq to defeat Iran. So we get involved in the Middle East
Why
sometimes.
don't we just sat?
And
Yeah.
now we fat, we don't run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. Then you've got Guatemala, where the CIA backed a coup. Okay,
With
you
a bunch
had
of chickens in it.
Chile. You had U.S. supported efforts to destabilize President Salvador Allende's socialist government. And then in the Congo, the CIA was involved in the capture and assassination of Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba.
And this is all U.S.
This is collaboration, and let's just put it this way: this is U.S. Yeah. You guys, you're crazy.
What was the purpose of all this?
To influence,
To create.
to play 4D chess with
Better-
the world.
you've heard the military complex, you've heard capitalist intervention when you've got these business investments in foreign lands. In other words, we can change a regime like we did in the Middle East because what was the key component of all that? Oil. It's always been oil. And that is part of it. Now, interesting thing about this last
Money, power, resources, kind of that whole.
I'd heard that we only use 2% of Iran's oil. So when we went to bomb Iran, there was this thought that gas prices were going to soar, and they didn't because we don't use as much. Gotcha. And thinking about that, that's what Trump's trying to do is tariffing these countries that are selling to Russia with these high tariffs. So he's using the tariff as a weapon to get America's interest. He's smart. He knows what he's doing.
We're weaponizing the tariff structure to give us more power and money.
But they didn't always turn out in our favor. That's the interesting thing about this stuff. Let's see. What else? Any comments, thoughts?
And these were predominantly like some of them psyops too, where we went in there and we just like mess with people's heads. I know that there are some. Was it? I don't know if it was Vietnam. I don't know. There was definitely some psyops. There was a village where they believed in a certain god or something like that, and they like through radio frequencies found different radios and would basically speak to these people and get them like, you guys need to surrender.
You mean like subliminal suggestion?
Or no, like
speakers
people, in the jungle.
Like everybody heard. These,
well, that's propaganda that they use.
This is this particular god, and it's telling us that we need to surrender. So they basically took, without a shot being fired.
Well, you had Leni Riefenstahl, who was a German filmmaker in World War II.
Yeah, he played for the Astros too.
No, he didn't.
Riefenstahl.
She loved the Germans, and she did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did the propaganda films for Hitler, and the way she filmed them gave him this authoritarian, godlike figure. When he was a short
4.5
guy.
feet
Yeah,
tall.
Exactly. So,
Small man complex.
using propaganda to convince people. And then during the wars, we would drop leaflets, you're losing the war, and then they drop leaflets on it. You're losing the war, it's a big game.
The war.
Yeah. So, just to give you some ideas of the controversial outcomes that happened to some of these alliances, when we did the Iran involvement, the Shah's regime collapsed in '79, leading to the Islamic Revolution.
Yep.
And then you had Iraq. Saddam Hussein was once a U.S. ally during the Iran-Iraq war, but later became an adversary. And what did he do to him? Hung him.
Where was Hussein? Saddam Hussein.
He was in Iraq.
So they were allies at one point.
At one point, when we were helping them fight Iran, right?
Yeah.
We put him in the Hussein Asylum.
Yeah. Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah. And then Panama, Manuel Noriega was a U.S. asset before being ousted and arrested in 1989, which I think he's still in prison in America.
In Panama City.
No.
No, he's going down to the alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah. And then you have some not too long ago in your day, the Iran-Contra affair. Remember that?
Remember that? Ollie North.
Yeah, yeah. And Reagan got grilled. That was pretty wicked.
Oh, cannibalism is the worst.
How about the alleged DEA Sinaloa cartel deal? If y'all remember.
Nope.
Yep. A report surfaced notably from 2014 that the DEA made arrangements with Mexico's cartel, the Sinaloa.
Do remember that.
Allowing drug smuggling in exchange for
Guns.
intelligence on rifles and cartels.
Yeah.
Guns.
Yep.
And
then you had CIA and organized crime in the Cold War, which I just spoke about earlier.
The Cold War or the Cold War?
Cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Ruskies.
Thank you. And then Operation Fast and Furious. This was a big bomb. Remember Eric
Vin Diesel was
Holder,
all up in there.
Obama? Yeah.
That's how we lost Paul Walker.
Yeah.
That's how we lost.
That was when
R.I.P.,
that's when the ATF was allowing illegal gun sales to track weapons to Mexican cartels. So they're like going to put little beepers on these guns and sell them to Mexico and track them. Right? That never happened. So
Yeah, where would you put one of those things?
yeah, I don't know.
Don't.
I think the guy that sold them on it Like, he had a literal beeper from the 80s,
Yeah.
and he put it on the stock of the rifle. He's like, they'll never even know it. It's a freaking laser, dude.
Look. Hey. You know what gets me is, speaking of beepers, what Israel did. Those
these
dudes have
bombs?
got some brains over there to figure out how to beat these guys. It's
awesome.
crazy. So, but I could go on and on. That's just a summary of
their,
some
like,
of the
think
things.
tank is full of comedians.
And I'm not
They're
here
like-
to put down America and our aim to democratize the world, but sometimes it goes awry.
Well,
And
I mean, look, to think that a government can survive without some types of, espionage and things like that. I mean, it's one of those things where the way that I see that is that, look, they're infiltrating and spying on us. If we want to survive, we've got to play the game. You know what I mean? And we've got to make sometimes, we've got to make some of these moves.
but what about when
and
your
other regime
allies
change.
are spying on you?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
The Mossad's spying on America,
Same
and
deal.
we're working with them. You know.
Well, I mean, we're here's the thing, though. But everybody knows what everybody's doing for the most part. I mean, not where and what exactly, but they
Yeah.
all know.
Well, that if you
They
get
all
in,
know.
if you get into the spy game and you do know that you're being followed, then you can feed intel that'll shoot them a different direction. So it's
Yeah,
better
you
to,
can play the double,
Yeah.
triple agent.
you know
kinda
you
deal.
have some information. It's like, all right, well let's feed this information and see if they bite on this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole 3D 4D chess game.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
I-
it goes back to Washington. You know, Washington had the Secret Six, the spies of the American
Yes.
Revolution. So it's always going on. The only difference that I saw was that back in that day, it was to defeat the enemy. Nowadays, we just listen to what the enemy's doing. We don't go in to win a war anymore. We just play politics with it
Yeah.
to see who gets the best interest out of it, a deal, which is what Trump's good at, the art of the deal, making sure that, we're negotiating what's best for America, but what's also good for you, and we can come to an agreement and compromise and all that.
Yeah. I just think that, and maybe it always has been, because, when we look back, we only see a picture of what history had preserved for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that it was not true, but we don't see all of that. We don't see all of, kind of like some of the things that we shared in our last podcast about, about Washington and about John Adams, kind of the myths or things
Yeah.
like, we create these types of people and situations that are kind of more than they really were, and things that were but legitimately underhanded. We kind of gloss over those and just focus on the things that make us look better in light of history.
Well, history's written by the winners,
Right.
So,
Well, you've heard the saying, when it becomes fact and legend, print the legend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, correct. And my point is that,
I've never
it's
heard
it's
that.
much more
That's good.
as wonderful as I would love it to be, like Lord of the Rings, where it's very black and white on who the enemy is and who the enemy is not.
right.
And we get together and we fight, right? I mean, that's going to be Armageddon. One day that's going to happen. But until then, man, warfare, politics, global strategies, it's all so ridiculously nuanced. I mean, I don't know that you can be involved in it without being morally unscathed yourself. There's just no way. There's no way you can not compromise in some way, shape, or form to be involved in that, because people's lives are at stake. There's going to be lying. There's going to be all of these different things. And I think, it's just a reality. We don't have to like it, and I'm not necessarily all for it, but at the same time, I acknowledge that it is a reality,
Well,
that
should
our country
we
has to
be
play.
the moral authority in the world?
I mean, we as in
United
America,
States, yeah.
I don't think we can be the moral authority, and I'll tell you why. Because the United States doesn't have very good morals. It
Good
just
point.
doesn't. It doesn't. We
Well,
can't
especially
be
in the
moral
area of
authority.
politics, and it's not just
That's what-
recently.
well,
This
that's what
goes
we're
back.
Talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. We can't be the moral authority. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be the authority for, for overall good and things like that. It doesn't mean that we can't ever do things that are right. I'm just saying, there's not a governmental moral authority to the world. There's just not.
Well, I think that America has a better chance of being the moral authority.
They're the closest
because
to
we
it.
actually
we
have,
might be the closest to it that we could get.
right. I mean,
Unless another country starts being run by more leaders that are believers, which who knows in 1,000 years if the Lord tarries. Heck, talk about a turn of events. What if the Christians in China one day ended up being the moral authority of that nation, and China was what that used to be a atheistic, communistic powerhouse was all of a sudden, similar to the Republic of the United States. There's no telling what now history tells us differently, right? I'm just, some crazy hypothetical, but even then, I think thinking that a nation can be a moral authority, I just don't. I don't believe that. As far as like a political nation, I think number one, Christianity is bigger than that, than one country.
Well, I got a question. I guess getting ready to close on this, and I've been reading an article from a couple of online, and it talks about, asks the question, did God spare Donald Trump? Because there's been a lot of news out there about, God, him saying, the man upstairs saved me, and, it's all God and all these things. Do you believe that God spared him?
I believe that God spared his life in as much as he spares anybody's life who was put in danger. I don't believe for a second that he's somehow set apart from any other person on the planet. I think that would be ridiculous to say that. God spared him and is sovereign over Trump's life in as much as he's sovereign over mine and yours.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe. I'm going to completely stay away from any kind of Trump's God's man, blah, 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 doohickey crap. And look, I voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? I'm a supporter of that. I'm a political supporter of that. I don't like everything that he says or does. Matter of fact, most of the stuff that he said, I don't like when it comes to morality, right? But on that note, I don't. I think that's poodoo talk to talk like that, and I don't understand why people have to have that in order. I don't understand what causes people to ask those questions. What does it matter?
In regards to Butler, seeing as how a year ago it happened, almost to the day. When you talk about did God spare Donald Trump, I believe there was intervention, mainly because what would the country look like if he was assassinated? You got some crazy MAGA folk out there, crazy ones. And
on both sides, you got some non-MAGA and MAGA.
Right. Well, take January 6th, for instance. Regardless of what actually happened on that day, there were some people that broke some glass, that did some wrong, and they need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Some did not. I'm not going down that rabbit trail, but my point is, we talked about it after the 2019 election when President Joe Biden won his election, right? If you put a wounded tiger in a corner, he's going to strike you. And I just don't know what would have happened if that had happened. Like the number one candidate for the Republican Party, what would have happened? It would not have been good.
Who would have rose up and took his place? We don't know.
Or could anybody, and we would have continued. So in some regards of there being a sparing, I think there was. I agree with like the fact that a sparing just as much as any other person, yes, but
I don't. And what I mean by that was
more influential than most.
Yeah. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't think God was sitting in heaven going, "Oh, I got to spare Donald Trump." He can raise up somebody else, just like he rose up Trump.
Right.
He can raise up any, in regards to that, to answer that question, I'll echo my original answer. Yeah, he spared him, but not as much as he spared any other king, political figure, or whatever. God's the one that sets kings in their places.
That's right.
And tears them down, removes them. And so, in as much as that, yes.
Yeah. He's not
If you
doing
if you
anything
believe
more
that
than
as
what he-
Scripture says, then God placed Trump in that position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But we also have to equally say that God also placed
Biden in
that
position.
you're
That's
So
right.
we have to,
That's
as
right.
long as we're connected with that.
That's right, and understand that.
Yeah.
Well, we're an imperfect country with imperfect leaders ruling an imperfect people, which leads us to the final tabulation of it all. Thank goodness for God's grace. So,
Very good. Anything else to add, bro?
Smash that like button. Hit
Yeah.
subscribe.
yes, many times.
We're on the what our goal is 1 million followers.
Yes, yes.
By the
1
end of the
million.
day.
And we got up to 144 last time.
Yeah. So you guys have some work to do.
Yes,
No,
yes.
No, we only have 22 subscribers.
Subscribers, yes, but we had 144 views.
Yeah,
If
I want to.
Oh, you want a million
subs.
subscribers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's get 1 million viewers, and then we'll do a little subscription
No, but
campaign,
here's the
and
thing.
then
If
get
you
1
view
million.
this podcast, subscribe.
Right.
Just,
When are we
or
going to start?
Don't even listen to the
When are
rest
we
of
going to start charging for subscribers?
it. When we get 1 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 from each of them.
Yes, now that's
$1
it.
million.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom. That's how we economize this.
Yes, yes. Because with that money, we can bring on really famous guests.
Yes.
Who's our first guest? Who's our bucket list guest?
I think about bringing Dad on. My dad.
Okay.
Your grandpa.
Well.
That'll be good. But he's free. He wouldn't charge anything.
Yeah.
Right. He could pay us.
What if we were to
Think he
get
knows.
somebody like Tucker Carlson on here?
I don't know that I could sit in the same room with Tucker.
Yeah, that laugh.
What
Bro.
about
Straight.
Bet David?
Bet David.
Bet David.
Patrick Bet David.
Patrick Bet David.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know him?
You'd like him.
He's on Fox a lot. I see him on there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, get Anthony Fauci on here.
Ooh, Fauci. People should look like their last names. Fauci.
He does.
He does.
He does.
actually.
He
Oh,
does.
freaking Yoda.
All right.
He took all his vaccines in his face.
Yeah. All right. So we end with a warning, with a safety bulletin.
Oh.
If the grass is greener on the other side, more than likely their septic tank is leaking. So be careful.
Yeah. Doo-doo.
We out.